Spectre is about a girl who ended up getting her eye and leg taken by yokai so that she could form a sort of pact with spirits so that she could act as their goddess of wisdom who helps solve their disputes and occasionally looks into certain supernatural cases that come up as a sort of yokai detective or an inspector, if you will. It's divided into 3 arcs. The first arc is about her just hitting on this guy who all the yokai are afraid of because he ate the flesh of a mermaid and an oracle beast, and it turned him into some weird fucked up monster creature. Which is to say, he looks exactly human, but all of the yokai around there can totally tell that he's not, and so it freaks them the fuck out. The second episode is her arguing with a snake about why a lady dumped a body in a swamp. And then the final arc is about a woman who is appearing at night with a steel girder and is just smacking things with it. And it's all about that mystery about Steel Lady Nanashi. I enjoyed the characters and their relationships and the overall directions the plot lines went in. It never really felt like anything came out of left field. It did a good job establishing its universe and moving towards logical conclusions to its art. And I do appreciate that a large portion of the Steel Lady Nanashi arc is sort of paralleled, but also foreshadowed with the prior arc in The Snake, which shows that the main character is totally willing to keep slamming her head into a wall and sort of offering alternative solutions, which all lead you to a definitive conclusion at the end, because she does it with the Snake arc, where she offers multiple solutions, only to return to a solution she had already given by convincing the Snake of every alternative, and then she essentially does almost the same thing in the Steel Lady Nanashi arc by diffusing the situation by making it so all previous answers to the question contributed to the final answer to the question. It does a really good job of sort of playing with public perspective and how it is one of those series where some monsters, it doesn't say all of them, but some of them are at least created by public consciousness. And it does do a good job of delving into the public consciousness and how, as an inspector, it's kind of her job to help manipulate the consciousness of people who are creating monsters, as well as when we go back to the Snake arc, sometimes her actual yokai clients. And watching the relationship between the main characters develop is also kind of interesting, because it's really implied that the guy doesn't like her for most of the series, but then you get these little cracks in his armor. He's a little too soon for my tastes. I would like to see more Dere, but this is season 1, and it does kind of get into the central issue with the show, which is that only 3 arcs existed in it, and I don't know what the next arc is, because I know there's a season 2, but I guarantee you could probably have at least fit that arc in here, regardless of how long it is, because the number one issue with Inspector is the absolute dog shit pacing. It spends way too much time on things it absolutely does not need to. Like, the Snake arc lasted 2 episodes. They could have easily done it in 1, and Steel Lady Nanashi lasted 7 episodes, and you could have done that in 3, maybe 4. It's not necessarily that the scenes drag on for too long. It's that the show likes to sort of get lost in the minutia of what exactly the characters are doing. There's a little bit too much back and forth. Some is totally acceptable and expected, but it goes on for way too long, and there's too much of it, to the point where it's not fully and wholly contributing to the ongoing narrative. It contributes to the narrative a specific scene is trying to tell you, but not the overall narrative that the entire plotline is developing towards. So, what the main issue with Inspector is that it just so desperately needs an editor to sort of cut some of the fluff out. Like, there were 4 methods proposed for the Steel Lady Nanashi case. They could have gone to like 1 or 2, or at least they could have cut out some of the discussion involved in all 4 methods and cut that, what was spread into 3 episodes, down to 2 episodes. They could have done that easily. Same thing with the Snake thing. It just takes too long to get to its points. Twitch and Discord in the description. I've been Sacrobolic. Your Envoy of Hope. Bye-bye.